like to welcome everybody to Introduction to AI, What You Need to Know. We're going to be sharing some really basic information with you in the first part of this program, and then we'll, a little bit later on, open it up to your questions and seeing what some of the next steps might be. And then on March 5th is AI Exploration, where we'll take a longer, more in-depth look at some of the tools that are out there that both teachers and students are taking a look at. So first off, sort of emerging news. It's not quite old hat yet. You may be aware the two leaders in artificial intelligence are ChatGPT and something called Gemini, which until a few weeks ago was known as Google Bard. Most of the tools that you see available in education have either ChatGPT or Gemini as the backbone of them. So we're going to spend some time taking a look at these and seeing what they can and cannot do as we move forward here. In our schools, AI is being used for all sorts of things. Students are using them for writing assignments, resumes, applications in the older grades. Teachers are using AI to create lesson plans and make tests. And we're using it to help individualized instruction, individualized reading and math and other content areas, using it for safety and a whole world of possibilities. So some of the things with AI can be a little bit scary, and certainly it's changing the way we create assignments in most of our content areas. Really, grade 3 on up, what we write down for students to work on at home is changing and changing rapidly. And we're going to talk about that a little bit. But what an exciting time it is. So what I'd like to do is just spend a couple minutes demonstrating some of the things that AI does. For some of you, this may be old hat. You've seen it or done it yourself a dozen times. For others, this might be a little bit new. So I'm going to hop out of the slide presentation here and go over and take a look and see if I can get in. Nope, I don't want that page. And bring up my ChatGPT. I'm going to have to share my screen again, it looks like. So we'll see if I can unshare and then share again. Okay, there it looks like my ChatGPT may be back up. So just real common assignment, the kind of thing that you've probably given your students based on grade level, something like this about a zillion times. Write a 150-word essay on whatever the topic might be. In this particular case, 150-word essay on why spending too much time on video games is bad for junior high students. Whatever that writing assignment is, you give it to ChatGPT, you type it in, and there you go. It does it just that quick. But maybe you want citations. You need it to do a little bit more. So I'm going to tell it, add 5 citations for this. First off, it says, well, I'm not really sure about citations, but then it goes and does it. And last but not least, let me say, make the reading here we go. Make the vocabulary so it's easier to understand. Oh, or make the notice I don't have to be too fussy with my typing. So the second time, spending too much time on video games can be bad for junior high students. The first time it said spending video games can be harmful. First, it can affect their health negatively. The next time, it can cause you to sit a lot. So you can have it simplify the language, make it easier to read, make it at a lower grade level, or make it more formal, more difficult to read. Just so easy to have ChatGPT or Google Gemini do things like that. Let's see how it does with math. So I'm just going to do an absolutely classic math problem. the two trains, they're coming from opposite directions. When are they going to meet? So I put that story problem into Chat GPT, and there it talks about it a little bit. It explains the solution, and just that quick, it says they're going to meet at 9:11 a.m. Absolutely, totally amazing how quickly they come up with answers to our traditional assignments that we're giving kids. And I want to give one more example here, and that is, okay, that's what it's doing for students. Let's see what it's doing for teachers. Boy, would I have loved to have this when I was in the classroom. Have it prepare a lesson for a substitute, for example. A one-day lesson plan for fifth grade on weather. Include a 5-question quiz and a homework assignment. Bang, it's done. And, having taught weather among many other uses in science for real, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. So I could have an assign. I know when I had to prepare a sub on short notice, it normally would take me an hour or more to get the information ready if I wasn't already prepared for that day. And now you can get the information ready in a matter of seconds. It's just astounding what this artificial intelligence can do. So with those examples in mind, let me talk a little bit about the terminology and the way in which artificial intelligence works for us. I'm going to bring my presentation up. So what you just saw was, write an essay on video games, include a bibliography or citations with 5 resources. That's an example of what AI will do. So here's the terms. The question you ask the AI is called the prompt. Whatever instructions you're giving to the computer, to the artificial intelligence, prompt is the proper term to use. So when you're working with your students, I encourage you, say, what prompt did you give the students? Or I want your prompt to the students include the following types of information. Now, a well-written prompt, and we're probably going to end up having lessons or entire units on how to write prompts to AI. But one of the things you want to make sure is your prompt includes limitations, like no more than 150 words in length, or make sure you only use citations from 2015 or more recent. The limitations define how much the artificial intelligence should do. If you don't put any limitations there, it'll make some assumptions, but normally we want to tell the AI how long. Make sure that the reading level is no more than 7th grade or whatever you might want for a limitation. And then the specifications. I mentioned citations a couple of times, including citations or reference. Well, I want 5 citations, so that's a very specific number, and I want to make sure you use MLA format. So again, the detail that we provide the artificial intelligence includes limitations, don't make it longer than 150 words, and specifications, like be sure to have 5 citations and make sure that those use MLA format. As you're doing your homework assignments, I encourage you, if it involves AI, think about including these specific terms. Students, here's what your prompt to the AI should say. Here's a limitation that you want to make sure you include. Here are additional specifications. Now, I know I'm getting kind of ahead of the boat here because you might be saying, wait a minute, I don't even sure I want kids to use this at all. Well, we'll talk more about that in the next couple minutes. By the way, these AIs are not perfect. They're far from perfect. They make mistakes. And their mistakes, the correct term for that is a hallucination. I don't know why we don't simply say the AI made a mistake, but errors made by artificial intelligence are called hallucinations. In the training example I just gave, and actually I did this just a few minutes, I checked it out just before we began today's program, and it came up with 7.4 hours as the travel time between Denver before the two trains would meet. The actual time is about 8.1, 8.2 hours. So it made a mistake in calculations. Now, here's the really interesting factor. And just to give you an example of how AIs work, I told the AI that the trains left at the same time. It made a correction for the fact they're in different time zones. So the AI assumed one train left Denver at 1 a.m. Denver time, and one train left Chicago at 1 a.m. Chicago time, which again, so interesting things can happen. The AI makes assumptions, and we've really, really got to watch out for those. So, a little bit of research. Are your students using artificial intelligence? The research says if they're in high school, almost certainly yes. Recent survey, over 4,000 students, college-bound students, 62% admitted to using artificial intelligence to help write assignments that they submitted in their high school. However, they also said more than 50% of those said, even though AI is prohibited in my school, excuse me. So even if we don't allow students to use artificial intelligence, they are admitting they're using it. And since 62% admitted they're using it, we think probably the real honest number is somewhere between 80 and 95% of college-bound kids are already using artificial intelligence to help with their homework assignments. 80 to 90, 95% are already using it. What are we going to do about that? Well, we're going to talk about that and give you some ideas. This same survey was conducted in June, about 6 months prior to the one I'm reporting on here. In June of 2023, it was about 44% of students said they had used AI. By September, it was up to 62%. And we believe now, currently, in spring of 24, the number is somewhere around 80 to 95% of college-bound students. My next fact is one of the things I really hope you take away from today's session. Lower performing students, students in the bottom third of grade point average, your C, C minus, D, and F students, they report they very rarely use AI. While 60 to 80+% of college-bound kids use AI for their writing assignments, less than 20% of the struggling students use AI. That's something we're going to have to deal with. And Roger's opinion, not research, we've got to help these kids have a level playing field. You know, if I could, Roger's opinion, I probably would prohibit AI use until at least 6th or 7th grade. But I can't stop it. There is no effective way for keeping students from using artificial intelligence. Oh, but we can detect it. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Since we can't stop students from using artificial intelligence, we might as well embrace it and take this as a tool and help students learn all the wonderful capabilities that it does have. And even our students in the survey says they're really struggling with trying to determine, is using AI cheating? So is it cheating? Well, first off, I'm going to spend just a couple minutes talking about cheating detectors or artificial intelligence detectors. Two of them that we like, there's a lot of them out there, are Undetectable AI and Scriber. Scriber is actually an AI detector that's affiliated with some of our major plagiarism companies like Turnitin.com, for example. So let me just do a quick demonstration of that. And so I'm going to hop out, get back to my other screen here.
One thing while you're doing that, Roger, that I'd like to clarify is that you shouldn't avoid talking about AI, but in all the grades, you should be mentioning it, just not if you are choosing not to use it in K-5, like Roger said, he wouldn't, his opinion, use it until 6th grade. It doesn't mean that you wouldn't mention it or have some policy related to AI being used in K through 5. So just a
Tanya, yeah, absolutely agree. And to clarify my comment, I would use it in the elementary grades as well in high school. I wish we could stop it, but we can't stop it. So yes, talk about it. Absolutely, positively agree. And Tanya, in just another minute, let me show this, and you may want to talk a little bit more about that very point. So here's Scriber. So I pasted in the AI generated video game essay that I just did. It says there's a 54% chance it was generated by AI. Well, there's not a 54% chance, there's a 100% chance, because that was 100% generated by AI. And as we use these AI detectors, we recently did a trial with over 30 teachers, 37 teachers, all at the same time, created an AI assignment, like, are video games bad for kids? And then they also hand wrote an assignment themselves that they created. 37 teachers. We submitted all of these to the AI detector, and less than 50% of the time was it correctly identified. The ones that the teachers wrote were repeatedly identified, frequently identified as being AI generated. And Tanya, you had a little bit of experience with this. Would you share that, please? With
Yeah, I mean, it's all been different since discovering and researching and playing with these AI tools. I teach a class on AI tools your students are probably already using, and that's the portion that I'm going to be doing today. But my experience with the detector, I used Grammarly Go, again, another tool I'm going to be doing today, in AI detector, the undetectable AI. And then the same thing that I did in ChatGPT, copied and pasted it. And the first time I demonstrated it, it said that ChatGPT was not AI, it wasn't detected. It said every time I did Grammarly Go, it was detected. Then the next time that I did it, which was maybe a week later, teaching the class, I did that same thing again, different prompt, different everything, but did the same 2 prompts in Grammarly Go and ChatGPT. I copied and pasted both, and it said that both of them were detected as AI. It's just not reliable enough to detect AI if you're using it from a teacher standpoint. But when I demonstrate undetectable AI, I will show you a way that possibly can be undetected by AI.
Go ahead, Tanya. Why don't you do your demonstration if you don't mind?
Oh, sure. All right, so the link that you're going to go to will be the link that's in your chat right now. The sites you go to will have the screen that I'm about to share with you. And it should say,
we're getting a little bit technical for an introductory, but the point is, and I think it's worth illustrating as Tanya's about to do, you've really got to be careful relying on anything, any software that claims it can identify it was AI generated. You really, really have to be careful, because, there's a lot to know, and it's not 100% certain by any means. So the bigger picture is students are using AI, and we most certainly cannot always detect it. So with that, Tanya, go ahead, please.
well, so just kind of randomly here, you made me think of something. Just talking about it and having something being said about it is deterrent enough, because I have an 18-year-old and he will not touch any AI because his district has spoken about it very frequently, in saying that you cannot use it, you cannot use it, you will fail, you will fail. And I don't know if it's the clientele or my son's personality, but he will not touch it. He, even to do an outline for an essay that he's writing for a scholarship and that kind of stuff. So the big thing I think is the conversation, but I also think the nice thing to do is to have some kind of policy starting within your district. So with that being said, the tools that I'm talking about here are AI tools your students are probably already using. And the really awesome thing is I just taught a brand new class. So this was not even in the video for the last time that we taught this live NWAT class. You can see that there's all these general AI tools that everybody can use: math, language, arts, social studies, science, foreign language, plagiarism, and teacher AI tools. So all my resources are there, and we'll have our email addresses that you can email to me. So like, let's say you're playing with this and you're like, Tanya, what is Conquer or what is School AI? Which School AI is by far my favorite one right now. But yeah, so you have all those resources at your hand. But the first thing that we're going to be talking about is Grammarly Go. And Grammarly Go has been around forever. And actually AI has been around since the 1990s. The Grammarly, we hear about Grammarly all the time, but Grammarly Go is the one that follows you around. And let me kind of demonstrate what that looks like. I have an email up here, and you're going to see a couple tools that I have available because I've installed them. They're actually quite annoying. So like when I click inside anything that has a text box, for instance, I review courses for the state for Quality Matters, and I clicked inside of a box that was just a different interface, their interface, and all of a sudden Grammarly Go pops up. This one down here, can you guys see it? This is Grammarly Go. The one with the light bulb is Grammarly Go. The one that's the G is just Grammarly. This one is Quillbot. And if I wouldn't have gotten annoyed 2 nights ago, you'd see 3 other ones, but they all popped up: WordTune, Pro Writer, Hemingway Writer. There's all these things that will follow you around as you're writing, whatever you're writing, whatever you're doing. But they also have a separate interface that allows you to write. But let me show you this. So let's say that
make your writing better, right, Tanya?
right,
Whatever
right, tries
you put down, they're
exactly.
trying to make it better.
But it also acts like ChatGPT following you around, ChatGPT. So if I want in this letter, I want to write to my boss, write a letter. Whoops, I'm off home row, as you probably could tell. Write a letter to my boss, being friendly about asking for a month off of work. Okay, so wherever, you can see it even simulates right here, ChatGPT. So I'm going to hit enter, and it's going to bring it up. It even says things just like ChatGPT. And here it says, I hope this letter finds you good in health and spirits. Read that, my absence. And then I could just put in here, you know what, make it funny. We did this the other day with a teacher. She wanted she's doing Romeo and Juliet, and she wanted Romeo and Juliet to be written in modern terms. And then we said, now do it in the form of a TikToker. I don't even know how to spell TikToker. Whatever. Okay, let's see what it says. And we did it for a social media influencer. Yeah, so you can change the grade level. You can do all the same things that you did in ChatGPT. Thanks for being the best boss ever. Peace out. And then I put my name. Well, wherever my cursor is, I can hit insert. It puts it in the email. I can hit shorten. I can hit sound professional. I can change all those things wherever I go. Okay, so here it is. Hey, what's up? And I put my boss's name in there. I could have even put that in the prompt where I said, I could have said my boss's name is Roger. I'm going to be gone from this date to this date. I would just put the details in there and I would write it. Now you can see that Grammarly Go is right here, the light bulb, but check it out. Grammarly says you got 6 issues with your grammar. So Grammarly Go wrote something in Grammarly Premium, just regular Grammarly, is saying that there's problems with my text and I should write it a little differently. Well, it's probably not understanding the voice that I'm using. So it challenges it there. But if you're on my page here for Grammarly Go, and you want to install that thing, here's all the pricing and whatnot. I don't pay for anything, by the way. If any of you watch any of our vlogs or come to any of our live sessions, I don't pay for anything. But here's the one for Grammarly for Chrome. This one will install the AI interface that you can use as its own. So let me open that and show you that quickly, and then I'll go to Undetectable AI, because Judy has some wonderful resources we want to get to as well. So right here, so I'm going to hit new, and within this like word processing function, I can do a whole bunch of neat things. So look at this dude. He's even entertaining the idea. Quillbot followed me in to Grammarly Go. So Quillbot still wants to help me, but check it out. I still have Grammarly Go because I'm in Grammarly Go, and I can just put in here, write a story about a llama who gets lost. And then I'll hit enter and it brings it up. And again, I can click inside my blank document. I could have also uploaded a document and received help with it, made it better. It would use the Grammarly tools. It would use the Grammarly Go tools. It would use that prompt to help me make it more persuasive, story-like, put it in the 3rd grade reading level. But then also it has all of these, oops, let me close that and insert. I'm going to insert, and you can see all of the statistics over here on the side. It says overall score is an 86%. Well, why? The reading time, it's going to take that long. Word length is this long. So basically it's grading what I've done. And this also could be the way you lift your instruction in the classroom. Have your students use Grammarly Go, and then they have to raise on their own the score from 86% to 93. So they could change things, typing over here, not by using the prompt, and then raise that level. And then you can see that I had to set my goals, the ones that I could for free. What kind of audience am I using? What kind of formality? And if I change my intent, my formality, my audience, then that also will determine my overall score based on how I want it to be written. Okay, so it follows you around there. And then also you can see on this one where it says Grammarly Desktop, it's the same thing. What you do is you install it on your computer. And then when you click it on your computer, so like if you're in your programs or your applications, it just opens up this. It just opens this thing up. So I think if you install the first two, the AI Writing Assistant and the Grammarly for Chrome, then you're good to go. Okay. We'll have questioning at the end, but if anyone has a really big question, Judy's watching the chat, so she can alert me of that. The next one is what Roger was talking about, and I'm just gonna, I already copied it. Is called Undetectable AI. So you can only use this so many times for free. And what it does is, when you go to the home page, it's going to ask you to log in with your Google account. It's going to take you through those normal verification thingies, not using your cell phone or anything like that. But then it gets to this page. Now, like I said, things change. It's asking me, are you sure you don't want to create your account? And then it wants me to put in a credit card, but you can use it for free for so many things. So if I were a student, again, this is AI tools your students may already be using, I would go to the AI detector and humanizer. That's the difference between, and I don't know Roger's tool, but that seems like that's the difference for me. So what I did was I copied and pasted my CD in here. So I have been working on this, and I put it in Perfect Resume and change some formatting things. But I'm wondering, because I had it in Perfect Resume, which is an AI, if it'll think it's an AI. But let's see here. So this is the one that I was talking about before, that when I hit check AI on ChatGPT, it never showed up, but now it does. So I'm going to go check for AI, and it says your content appears to be human. Well, good, because I wrote it. But let me go into ChatGPT and paste something that I had it write for me. All of these are Google single sign-on. The majority of the ones that I use are Google single sign-on. It's going to take a minute to go here, but let me pull in a, here's the one. So let's say that we ask the students to rewrite Romeo and Juliet in common modern terms. So here is one. This one was created by ChatGPT. I mean, you can see that. So now I'm going to go in here and try to do this all again. And I'm going to paste it. You also can upload documents, that kind of stuff. But right here, I'm going to hit check for AI, and it is 100% AI. So let's see what happens. Oh, it says it appears as now it's doing that same thing,
I'm
Roger.
glad
Where
it
it's
did that. Yeah.
yeah,
So
me too, me too.
completely AI, right? You did not.
Right. So let me go over here to my gosh darn it, Grammarly. Let me select all of this. Let's do this. All right, and then I'm going to go back to detectable AI. I want to show you the second part of this. This is great that it's not detecting it. Oh, it did it again. Let me see here. Control A. There we go. Let's see if it lets me paste it now. There we go. All right, so let me check for AI here. This one is Grammarly Go. Your content is detected. Yay. Okay, so it's back to normal. You know, I wonder too if ChatGPT, as soon as these things detect them, they work harder to not be detected, but you know, I'm neither here nor there. All right, so all I had to
do, Tanya, I mean, as the detectors become better, so do the AIs become better
not
at
being
not
detected.
getting detected. Yeah.
In fact,
The only
an article I read, somebody put in the Constitution, the US Constitution, and there were parts of it that they said it was AI created. So I don't remember what article that was or what AI detector they used, but I thought that was interesting.
So very well written material can be detected as AI. And Tanya, in your dissertation, weren't you detected as plagiarism? And it was 100% you that wrote it?
Yeah, there was yeah, it was 100% me for yes, definitely. That was 8 years ago. So but it was it said that I had 96 red flags of plagiarism, and it was because I kept using the phrase educational technology in it, and that, I mean, that's a general term. So but okay, so on this one here, where the only thing that I had to do, I missed a step. This, you hit AI detector and humanizer, and then you hit, I agree to the terms of the service. It'll tell you that. It'll say you have to agree. But now that it is AI, I click this button that says humanize. And when I hit, it has 320 words. Okay, so that's a good thing to learn. Let's do this. Let's take away some words. All right, let's see. Check for AI. It is AI, reset, humanize. Let's see if I took enough words away. There we go. All right, so that's good to learn that it's not just you get to use it 3 times every time. You can you only can use up to 250 words. So, but if I were a student and I was really desperate to have these tools like Photomath or Socratic or undetectable AI, I'd chip in with my friends, and I would pay $9.99 a month, or some of them are as low as $6 a month, just to have my stuff not be detected. So now it says that it's more human. Word count is 173. And now what I can do is I can humanize it again if I don't like it, or I can copy the output. You can see the original submission is down at the bottom and the result is up at the top. So I can, like I said, copy the output, paste it, send it to my teacher, and probably not be detected. But let me tell you this, and this is the last thing I'll say, and we'll jump on to Judy here. I was out at a school district teaching this, and he said he knew that one of his students used AI. He's the German teacher, and it was for a bonus thing. And he said that we don't have any policies here, and we're working on that at that district, getting some policies and talking about AI. But he said, what am I supposed to do? And I said, well, explain the assignment to me. And he did, but he said the funny thing was, I just graded it the way it was, and the kids still failed. And the reason he failed was because AI avoided the question. It kept circling around it, but didn't answer it. And so he said, also, I could tell it was AI. So you usually can have some suspicion related to that. But also, like Roger said, AI isn't always right. It isn't always true in what it says. So, but those are my two tools. And like I said, we'll put our emails in the chat at the end, and then you guys can email us if you have any questions about any of the other tools. Judy, your amazing tools.
Yeah, before we move on to her, I got a couple of things that fit in. I was going to put them at the end, but this fits perfectly with what you were just saying. So, and Judy's going to talk about teacher tools, and we're still on. So let me share my screen here, if I can do that. There we go. And so Tanya just gave you some examples of Grammarly and Grammarly Go that helps kids improve their writing, and undetectable AI, which can help detect documents that are written by artificial intelligence, but it can also help kids not get detected. And as you pointed out, for like, $10 a month or less, you can turn in assignments that are guaranteed to not be detected by your teacher. So how do you fool your teacher? And most of our better performing kids know this. AIs will look for material that's written at or above the level that you're expecting. So write a couple grade levels below the actual grade you're in. Use a little bit simpler vocabulary. And by the way, insert 2 or 3 spelling and grammar errors, because AI very rarely makes spelling errors. So, you actually tell the AI, here, write this assignment, give an example of why video games are bad, or whatever your assignment is. And you actually, in the prompt to the AI, you include as specifications, include 3 to 5 spelling errors. Be sure to write this assignment. Let's say you're a 7th grade student. Be sure to write this assignment at a 5th grade reading level. And any words that you go through, any words that the artificial intelligence uses, actually read it. Now, this is going to take a little bit longer, but for your students, if they actually read what the AI wrote and any words that they don't personally use, change those words to words that they do use. It is almost impossible for teachers to detect it if kids are using. How do teachers just, you kind of get a feel for it that Tanya mentioned? Well, if the student uses words that they use every day, that's how you detect this isn't like this kid. This isn't the language they usually use. So, and we did some experiments with this. And if you go through and change it to words that you use, almost impossible. So finally, our 2 things, as Tanya mentioned, pay to have the humanizer work for you. They're very effective. Not 100%, but they're very, very good in allowing students to, quote, cheat. And finally, hand type the response. More and more, the AI detection software, if you're like using Google Docs, for example, or Microsoft Word, whatever, one of the things that's actually looking for is, does the finished document appear instantly, or do you see the student typing the document in? And as they type it in, they're bound to make a couple typing mistakes, and that introduces it. So that's another way to fool the teacher, by putting those things in. Is it AI or human? I encourage you, try this hands-on. If you're in one of our hands-on workshops, or just do it yourself, write an essay, see if it's detected by undetectable AI or Scriber, and then try and change it using these how to fool the teacher tips that I just talked about. Tanya, are we going to talk about photo math in our next session?
Probably not, but I can. You wanted me to
Okay.
stick to the same tools
Yeah,
that I did.
yeah.
I actually have some really awesome tools.
Yeah, so one of the, and you've got a great set of tools there in the website that you shared, the resources you shared. But one of these, just to be aware, photo math, it does for math what Grammarly and GI Joe and Scriber and the undetectable AI humanizer. You point your camera, you point your cell phone camera at a math problem, and it is very, very good at getting the answer. So with that, Judy, I'm going to turn it over to you on tools that teachers can use.
Okay, I know our time is limited, so I'm only going to really stress one that I think it's one of the easiest AI tools to use to get some awesome results, because there are many more tools that do similar things. And so I don't know if you saw real quickly there, Roger was showing Question Well, and that's the first one I'm going to talk about. Not that there aren't other tools that write assessments. ChatGPT does a wonderful job, and so does Gemini, formerly known as Bard. But as far as I can tell, as of today, they do not export it as easily as Question Well does. I mean, yeah, I can copy and paste, but that does take some time. I'm going to share my screen with Question Well here, and we will
And while she's doing that, I mentioned, so there are well over, excuse me, there are well over 100 tools out there targeted at education, teachers and students. The ones we're actually demonstrating are the ones that we encourage you to begin with. You may end up someplace different, but these are very, very good, all relatively simple, and all have a free version that you can get in there and try these for yourself before you commit to buying something. All right, Judy, back to you.
just about every one of the, or all the tools I'm showing are going to feature here at the end of our session do have a paid version. But as Roger stated before, be very cautious about signing up for something for a whole year, because it saves you $2 a month or whatever. I say get familiar with the free version, and then if it really has features you want, maybe take a month or something, or two at the most. I know some of them were totally free. The one Magic School, I think some people have been really disappointed that they have taken away a lot of the features they loved of Magic School, and now it's only in the premium version. Eduate is the other one, but let's look at Question Well first. Again, a teacher shared this with me when I was telling her about Eduate, and she said, "Well, have you ever heard of Question Well?" And I had not, and when I show teachers, they really like it because it is so simple. And sometimes some of these tools have all these features and they seem like they're really useful, but it's just too much for something new. And so for one thing, Question Well uses what I think Tanya called it single, did you call it single check-in or whatever?
Single sign-on.
Single sign-on. You don't have to create a new account. I mean, you can if you want to, but I just go each time and I hit try it out. And I have already logged in with my NWOET Google account, so you would have to sign up, and do that one time. But again, my computer keeps the information and I don't have to log in unless I'm going to a new device. And I just say, I want to sign in with Google. But the free version gives you multiple choice questions, and you have the choice of 5, 10, and 20. 10 is the what shows to first, and then you put in whatever topic you want here, and it does not have, you can fill in 1,000 words of, say, a reading that you want the students to have some questions for it. And you can vary the grade level you want. You can look at all the languages, and there's some, I could even scroll farther. The one thing I did was put in a book called Peggy's Pokey. And let's just do the 10 questions. And obviously, if I look at the book, I can't show you right now. but since I'm sharing my screen, but it's a book for probably first grade at best.
So it already knows thousands and thousands of books that you
Right.
have in your library that you might typically assign at the different grade levels.
Right, and so we say, I do not need to put any text in here. They have added these features and they are free unless it has the little lightning bolt. So you can't put a file or doc or your own quiz in, but you could put a YouTube video. And I know some of teachers have excellent YouTube videos that are educationally okay to use. And you could put that in and it will create multiple choice questions. Now, if you want on this feature, you can short answer, fill in the blank, or all type of questions, then you have to pay their money. And you can go to the pricing here. And it's one of the lower priced AI tools because it is so limited in what it does. So we say generate questions, and the little guy robot comes up here and it gives you questions. It also saves those sets. And I've not had any problem. In fact, if I wanted to cancel this, I've done this before, but this Peggy's Pokey. Peggy is a sheep. And so that's one of the problems of the quiz here that we see is that the questions, okay, I asked for 10 questions. It also comes up with these learning outcomes, even though I did not put the learning outcomes in, which I could do. But one of the things it said, now this one quiz is, and again, when you try things on AI one time and then you do it again, you may get completely different questions. But on this particular, these, you can choose all of them. And so let's just say choose all of them. They all look good. The one question I had to edit before I used it and put it into my, gave it to students is Pokey. Pokey is actually a lamb in this story. And there is a comic that is, or another story that Pokey is not.
It's
And
Saturday Night Live. It's a Saturday Night Live skit. Well, actually,
yeah. And so
that's how it got famous, but it's Gumby's
Like
Gumby's
big
friend.
friend, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Gumby,
Gumby's
yeah, Gumby's friend. I'll show you a picture in a minute when I don't share my screen. But the questions are really vague. I don't think it really knew the big, and it will do that. It will try to come up with something close to whatever the data that it has in the system. And I looked at the questions and they really weren't good questions. So you can't guarantee, like Roger said, hallucinations. And so if you like it, you say, I want to export it. And these are 15 different tools that you can, quiz creation or assessment creation tools that you can use. And they have added since I first started using Question Well. And of course, I almost always pick Google Forms because some of these others have an additional step. Quizzes is one that a lot of teachers use, but it exports a CSV file, which is a spreadsheet type file, and you have to import it into it. When you put it into Google Forms, you'll be amazed at how fast it comes up. Okay, it's already in my Google Forms, and there it is.
So you
And of
give it a
course-
topic, it makes the questions, it lets
Right.
you edit them if you want to, and it puts them in Google Forms all in like 2 minutes or less.
I mean, 2 minutes to create it and about 30 seconds to put it into the quiz. And of course, you can go to the editing feature of your Google Forms and add questions, change the answers or whatever, because it does pick which one's the right answer. But other tools that I like, Magic School, I'm not even, well, login is, I'll show you how easy logging in is. Since I've already been logged in, you click the login and boom, you're in. But all these tools are not all in the free version. And again, I'm just like Tanya. I have never paid a cent for any of the AI tools that I have been using. And some of them are quite expensive. The Chat GPT is $20. And I did talk to a teacher who actually did pay the $20 because she said how much time it saved her. It helped her create a rubric for her essays for her students. They're like junior and seniors. And say she had 60 teachers or students writing essays, and she loved using rubrics. She always had. And
What tool was that? The Question Well, Judy?
No, she used Chat
Or the
GPT
paid
for
version of ChatGPT.
the paid version. And somebody said, well, I did that without paying anything. Well, her essays were very long and there is a limit on your Chat GPT prompts. I don't know exactly what it is today because it could vary, but you could not put in the length of her students' essays plus the rubric.
Judy, we're almost out of time. Can you finish up
Okay.
in the next 60 seconds?
I am just, this is Eduate, and again, we may show a little bit more in depth on some of these tools next week, but I challenge all of the people that are watching this today to try questionwell.org, O-R-G, because there is a questionwell.com, which is a paid online coursework. And so totally different. But again, you can get assessments from many other things, but Questionwell is the simplest one that I have found for multiple choice questions. So,
And I will say, Judy, I used QuestionWell for that science example that I gave earlier today. And its questions for the 5th grade science, they were exceptional. I mean, I think I'm pretty good at writing questions, and I was like embarrassed at how good the questions were that QuestionWell came up with. So
well, I like when Questionwell puts those learning outcomes. I love that some of them could actually be used
yes.
for short answer or even extended answer questions by just copying and pasting it into my Google form.
So a few other things here to talk about. Oops, wait a minute. I didn't want to do that. Go back here, try and get back caught up where we want to be. So is it plagiarism? That is a discussion that we should spend like 45 minutes on. But is it plagiarism if students are using these tools? So here's a thought, and this is Roger's opinion as opposed to research fact. I think it's close to research fact. It's very, very difficult to tell if your students are using these artificial intelligence tools. So put together some classroom policies. Tanya mentioned this a few minutes ago. What I really encourage you is tell your students, if you use artificial intelligence, admit it. Tell me that when you turn in your assignment. And I'm going to go a little bit further than that. If we have students say, yes, I used artificial intelligence as a tool in helping me complete this assignment, ask them for what the prompt was. What instructions did they give the artificial intelligence? And here's where it gets really interesting to me. What are we going to do for our assignments? Well, we know kids are using artificial intelligence. So admit it, cite it, and then tell me, how will you improve what the artificial intelligence created? I think that is the first step as we move forward. You know, you don't need a big fancy policy with hundreds of words that kids aren't going to use. Cite it, submit it, and tell me how you improved it. There's some new tools coming out, AI made just for schools. There are some strategies you can use to get students more involved with their assignments, where it's more difficult for them to copy the assignment and paste it into the artificial intelligence. And to talk about some more of the tools that are going to be used. Here's an example. Give students graphs, pictures, local photographs, and have them talk about what types of communication are being used. Don't just say, write an essay. Get them involved with, why would you write the essay? What is the reason for this information? What are you trying to communicate? A most powerful thing that's coming is AI for individualized instruction. And I just want to show you real quick what that's going to look like in the future. Let me go back here, share my screen for, there we go. So here's an assignment. I have 3 students in my class. I could have 30 of them. Sally likes volleyball. Bill likes bowling. Sam is interested in motorcycle rating. And here's where it gets really exciting. You tell the AI, so this is a 9th grade class, but Sam is a struggling student. His assignments all have to be written at the 5th grade reading level, even though he's in 9th grade. So I give this customized information about my students to the artificial intelligence. And here's the assignment. Sally, she has suggestions on writing assignments related to volleyball. Bill, he has questions related to his area of bowling. And Sam, who likes motorcycle racing and snowboarding, here's his assignments, but they're written at the 5th grade level, so he can easily understand what it is he's supposed to do. I think we're moving to a new era where we are truly going to be able to customize assignments based on students' interest and the educational goals that are right for that student's path as they move forward. There's still going to be some basics. Everybody's going to have to add 2 and 2. Everybody's going to have to know what a stop sign looks like. Even if we have self-driving cars, you better still know what stop sign looks like. So there's going to be some basics that we have to know without artificial intelligence. But our ability to customize learning based on that student's knowledge, abilities, and interest is going to be an incredible future. Tanya, Judy, any last stops? And we are just about at the end of our time, but we'll hang around for those of you that have questions. Tanya and Judy. Tanya first.
Yeah, amazing tools out there. Like we said, AI has been around for a long time, and I don't think it's going away. We've always been able to adapt and be flexible with instructional technology tools. When I was in school, they had specific rules about how to use your pencil and how not to use your pencil, and they had specific rules about how to use a typewriter, and then to a computer. And then when I was a teacher, we had rules about how not to abuse the mice that were attached to the computers that had balls in them. You know, so people were always taking the balls out, and then you couldn't use your mouse. So technology from the beginning of time has made us adapt and create policy and rules related to it. We can't stop now. It's not going to go away. We just need to figure out how we're going to use it and how to capitalize on it to help our students be more successful.
Judy, 30 seconds and we're out of here.
I won't even take 30 seconds. I just am so excited to learn about all the new AI tools, and I look at the positive side of them.
Okay. Wow, that was fast. So if you
I gave them the link in the chat for their I thought I did. There it is. Yep. Link to the certificate assessment.
and it's up on the screen as well. Join us again March 5th. Your quiz is active now if you want to get your professional development certificate, and this video will be posted, hopefully be up there by tomorrow if you'd like to look at it again or share it with other teachers.
I'm also putting all of our email addresses in there, but more than happy to answer through chat. You don't even have to turn on your microphone or your camera. You can just chat a question to us if you'd like. We're more than happy to help you with any of the things that you want to achieve. The last time we taught this class, we ended up helping someone create different versions of a passage in different grade levels to differentiate stuff for her classroom. So we're more than happy to help you do that, walk you through the steps, send you the steps in an email, send your steps in a video. We're here to help you.
That closes the class for today. Hang around if you will be here for a little bit if you'd like to ask more questions. Thanks for joining us.